Right now, Mazda is quietly preparing to launch the most powerful and game-changing vehicle in its history. While the rest of the auto world scrambles to electrify, one company is asking a different question. What if the future isn't fully electric? What if we've been chasing the wrong solution? Mazda's CEO thinks they found a better path. And, according to insiders, what's coming next could change everything. In their private research and development labs, Mazda engineers have been developing something that doesn't just improve on what came before, it completely changes it. Not just a new hybrid system, not just better mileage, but an engine that might finally break the deadlock between performance, efficiency, and environmental responsibility. It's bold, it's technical, it's risky, but it might just work. And if it does, it could flip the entire EV industry on its head. The highlight? The Skyactiv X engine. A bold attempt to merge gasoline and diesel combustion techniques using spark-controlled compression ignition. It was one of the most advanced gasoline engines ever made, offering better fuel economy, cleaner emissions, and still maintaining a responsive driving feel. But it wasn't perfect. Real-world gains weren't dramatic enough. It was complex to build and tricky to service. Even though it was an engineering triumph, it didn't revolutionize the industry as much as Mazda hoped. But it laid the foundation for something that might. Of course, Mazda wasn't alone in this search. The entire industry has been chasing the ultimate engine. Hydrogen combustion, too hard to store, no infrastructure, and still emits nitrogen oxides. Free valve engines like Koenigsegg's. Brilliant. Truly, but very expensive with too many moving parts and too much complexity for mass-market vehicles. Variable compression turbo engines like Nissan's VC Turbo. Great in theory, changing compression on the fly for better performance and efficiency. But again, the mechanical complexity adds to an already delicate system, something undesirable for longevity. Even Porsche's synthetic e-fuels sound great, carbon-neutral gasoline alternatives, but production costs are still 10 times that of regular fuel. Gee, all of these technologies were exciting, but none of them scaled. That's the brutal truth. Breakthroughs in labs don't always work in the real world. They're too costly, too fragile, or too incompatible with existing systems. And that's where Mazda might have finally found an engine to break through. The breakthrough is called the Skyactiv Z engine. This engine, set to debut in 2027, might be the most important innovation in decades. It's a next-generation four-cylinder hybrid powertrain designed to meet and exceed the world's toughest emission regulations, Euro 7 in Europe, LEV 4, and Tier 4 in the US. This engine doesn't just build on Skyactiv X, it refines it internally. Mazda claims that it's very close to the ultimate combustion engine, and that's not marketing fluff. It's based on an entirely re-engineered combustion cycle, upgraded thermal management systems, and hybrid integration developed completely in-house. Mazda plans to offer this engine in mild hybrid, full hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and even range-extended EV formats. This flexibility means it can adapt to different marketplaces, price points, and regulations, all while maintaining Mazda's performance DNA. So, what's the first car to get it? The new CX-5. And it won't break your wallet either. Mazda wants these vehicles to be affordable, practical, and serviceable. Unlike most current EVs, which come with high upfront costs and battery replacement concerns. But here's where it gets interesting. Insiders claim Mazda's CEO is so confident in this engine's potential that he's been heard saying, "Our new hybrid engine will destroy the entire EV industry." Now let's unpack why that bold claim might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. Mazda isn't trying to ignore EVs. They're just not buying into the hype wholesale. The Skyactiv Z is their response to a global auto industry they feel is too quick to chase trends without solving core problems. Consumers still care about affordability, longevity, and the ability to just fill up a car and go anywhere, anytime. None of these can be fully achieved through EVs. That's why Mazda's bet that people want options, not mandates, makes sense. By focusing on hybrid systems that don't require massive battery packs or rely on a billion-dollar, still incomplete charging infrastructure, Mazda is offering drivers a pragmatic and powerful bridge to the future. This strategy provides a tangible way to significantly reduce emissions and improve efficiency today, without asking consumers to sacrifice the driving experience, spontaneity, and freedom they know and value. Crucially, Mazda is pursuing this path without passing the primary burdens of this technological transition onto the consumer: the high upfront costs, the range anxiety, the need to retrofit homes with chargers, or the logistical overhaul of long-distance travel. Because let's be honest, the average driver doesn't want a car that forces them to redesign their lifestyle and daily routines around its limitations. They don't want to base their road trip on a map of charging stations or worry about battery degradation as a major factor in their vehicle's long-term value. Fundamentally, people want a vehicle that is an enabler, not a complication. They want a tool that just works, reliably and well under virtually all conditions, from a daily commute to an unplanned cross-country adventure. So the real question becomes, can Mazda truly pull this off? Can the Skyactiv Z become the paradigm-shifting solution they envision? And will it actually destroy the EV industry, as the bold claim suggests? The realistic answer is no, and that's not necessarily Mazda's goal. Let's be real. The EV industry is an established and powerful force that isn't simply going to vanish. Tesla isn't collapsing. It's a cultural and technological icon. Battery technology will continue its inevitable march of improvement, becoming more energy-dense and affordable over time. Global charging networks, though patchy now, will undeniably expand and become more robust. But Mazda doesn't need to destroy electric vehicles to win, nor is that the realistic benchmark for success in an increasingly diverse automotive landscape. In fact, the future of personal mobility is unlikely to be a monolithic, one-size-fits-all solution dictated by a single technology. The narrative of an inevitable, wholesale shift to pure battery electric vehicles ignores the complex tapestry of global needs, infrastructures, and consumer realities. The true victory for any automaker lies not in the utter dominance of one powertrain, but in offering a compelling, intelligent, and deeply practical alternative that authentically serves a specific and sizable segment of the market. Mazda's potential success, therefore, is not defined by winning a war against batteries, but by winning the hearts and minds of drivers for whom a refined, ultra-efficient hybrid solves more immediate and pressing problems than it creates. This is a strategy of addressing tangible friction points. Consider the urban dweller who lives in an apartment building without access to reliable overnight charging, for whom a pure electric vehicle becomes a source of logistical anxiety rather than liberation. Think of the salesperson, the rural resident, or the frequent road tripper whose driving patterns regularly extend beyond the current electric vehicle comfort zone, where public charging infrastructure remains sparse or unreliable. Furthermore, there is a vast segment of consumers who, while environmentally conscious, are simply not yet ready, financially, practically, or emotionally, to make the full electric leap and grapple with the perceived compromises. For these millions of drivers, the Skyactiv Z isn't a compromise or a reluctant half-step. It is the most intelligent and rational solution available. It represents a smarter route because it leverages existing, ubiquitous infrastructure while maximizing the efficiency of every drop of fuel through groundbreaking combustion technology. It is a more accessible route, as it avoids the premium cost of massive battery packs and democratizes advanced low-emission technology for a broader audience. And it is a more flexible route, offering the freedom to go anywhere, anytime, without the need to plan one's life around a charging map. In this light, the Skyactiv Z can be seen as a masterclass in pragmatic engineering. It doesn't demand that the world change to accommodate it. Instead, it meets the world as it is, with its imperfect grids, its vast distances, and its varied living situations, and provides a pathway to a cleaner future that works within those constraints. It is a bridge, but not a temporary one. It is a sophisticated and viable long-term destination in its own right, proving that the journey to